Happy Thursday, everyone. Happy Thursday. This is our 34th Town Hall. Just an amazing journey. We're literally getting close to the end of the year. Only a few months to go, but the journey for Evmux has been simply amazing. So super excited for the Town Hall today. A lot of great things we're going to talk about. But as always, Alad, how have you been, man? How have you been?
All good, all good. Great week. A lot is going on. I'm flying to New York tomorrow for a conference, but I will be back to the next town hall at home.
Okay. Cool.
But excited about that. Other than that, business as
Everything
usual,
else going good?
like everything
Yeah.
is great. How about you, Anthony?
I love it. Everything's been going great, man. It's great to see the increase in like our Facebook group, our community is growing. To see just more people finding out about Evmux, seeing other creators. We just had Justin make that video, giving a breakdown of Video Prime. I think it's Justin from Primal Video. Just made that video on Evmux, trying to educate others on how to utilize the tool. So it's just been great to see the community come together and just people creating content to show how impactful Evmux has been, and I'm super excited about it. So it's been a great week, and we got some familiar faces in the chat here. As always, Darius #1 coming in. Good afternoon. We got Zach Plays coming in. We also got Grandma Joe. It's been a while since we've seen you. How's it been? How's you been? We got David here as well, and we got Iran. We got Studio 1209. And then we got Domino Entertainment, as always, coming in here. It's always great to be able to see some amazing faces coming in, to be able to kind of just start talking about the things that Evmux is doing. So if it's your first time here joining the town hall, what we like to do is we like to talk about the topic, talk a little bit about why this feature or the topic came about. Then we like to demo what it is that we're talking about, and then we dive into our favorite aspect of it, which is answering questions. But feel free to ask questions throughout the whole town hall, and throughout there we'll come back and answer them in the order that they were received. So today we're talking about hotkeys, right? We're talking about how you can improve your workflow, create better content when you have tools like that allow you to be able to, especially if you're just a one-person show. It makes it easy for you to be able to have multiple components running and to do so much with that. So with that, let's talk about like the hotkey feature, right? The release of it. Why was it something that was added as something that was needed right now?
Yeah, I think Hotkeys is an amazing example how we listen to the community, because to begin with, it wasn't something that we felt like it's going to be a game changer for our users. And with the time being, we've heard so much demand for hotkeys, and we said, okay, we need to change the priority, and
Right.
hotkeys should be in our top priority, and to release it as soon as possible. And we did our research, and we learned, and we talked with a lot of people, and it's crazy to see how live streamers and content creators are leveraging everything out there, and hotkeys using usually by Stream Deck and things like that. We were surprised to see how much people invest in hardware to make things more simple, to make the flow better for them. And it just made us feel amazing, because Evmux is exactly complementing that, because it allows you to do whatever you want. And then with hotkeys, it can be easier to make it happen. So as long as people are willing to invest in their setup, hardware, and accessories, if you will, whoa, it was great to hear. And then we said, okay, hotkeys it is. Let's go. Let's do it. And we released it about a month ago. And this week we released the video about how to use specifically Stream Deck with the hotkeys. So it's completing the video that we released about a month ago of hotkeys in general in Evmux. Now the great video of Anthony explaining how to use it with Stream Deck.
Yeah, perfect. So it's been a game changer. That hotkey feature, again, it's just ease of use. I think it's simplicity, right? When you're inside of the Evmux editor and you're having to click on a scene, or you having to make slight adjustments, or like clicking to unmute your mic, it's a difference between like 2 or 3 seconds. Let's say, for example, I'm about to cough and I don't want that to be on the stream, right? By the time I grab my mouse, come to the to mute the microphone, I've probably already coughed, right? Whereas opposed, I can go ahead and just click a button right on my Stream Deck, or even on your mobile device, because it doesn't need to just be the Stream Deck. I'm going to make a video on how you could do that, how you can use the Evmux hotkey features using just your cell phone. But again, it's just that simply ease of use of being able to push a button and take an action inside of Evmux, whether that be changing a scene, playing something, and it's super, super powerful. So, I mean, without further ado, a lot of things we can showcase the demo of how to set up your Stream Deck with Evmux, and then we can come back and address some questions that you may have regarding anything Evmux.
Yeah, let's go. Bye-bye.
Utilizing the Stream Deck with
the hotkey feature inside of Evmux is a great way to be able to go ahead and improve your workflow and make production even easier. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how you can go ahead and set up the Stream Deck with Evmux, so that way you can make things a little bit easier when you're going live or recording content. So let's go and jump into my Evmux account so I can show you just how easy it is to go ahead and get this all set up. So once you're inside of your Evmux account, you're going to want to come to the top right hand side where you see your name displayed. Once you select that, you're going to see here it's going to say hotkey settings. You're going to select that there. This is going to give you all the hotkey options that you have available, whether it be playing scenes, selecting scenes for edits, using the templates and dynamics, volume, inputs, banners, slideshows, going live and ending your live, all in one place. And we've created some predefined hotkeys for you to be able to utilize, but you can go ahead and alter this to be anything that you like. The next thing you want to do is you want to make sure you have your Stream Deck connected to your computer and that you have the Stream Deck software already installed as well. Once you have your Stream Deck software installed, you're going to see a clean canvas just like this, or if you've used the Stream Deck for other things, you may just have to utilize an empty space. So what we have here is we want to go ahead and come to the right hand side in the Elgato Stream Deck software. You're going to want to come to where it says System. When you click System, you're going to want to select Hotkey. Now there's a hotkey switch and then there's a hotkey. Now the two differentiating factors between this is that a hotkey switch means it's going to toggle on and off, meaning that you use a hotkey switch for unmuting and muting your mic when you want the same hotkey for the same action. And then a hotkey is just going to be for one single action. So we're going to utilize both here today. That way you can understand how both of these are utilized. And then once you understand how it works, you can go ahead and customize it to your liking. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and play here, select the next scene. So you're going to see that the hotkey that's predefined is Control plus Alt plus N. So we want to make sure that we have the Stream Deck understanding that that's the hotkey. So to do that, you're going to grab the hotkey feature, you're going to drag it and drop it into an open space. And then here at the bottom is going to say hotkey. Click to assign. On your keyboard, you're going to select Control Alt N. That's going to go ahead and plug it in there. And now you're going to see that hotkey is assigned. We'll hit save. And now one thing that you want to make sure that you understand is that in order for the hotkey to actually work, you need to make sure that you have the browser open and you're on the tab of the editor. This way the Stream Deck knows to communicate with Google, to communicate with that specific tab, so that way the hotkeys actually work. So you can see here that I'm selected here on the open scenes. When I select this button, it's going to go ahead and move over to the next scene. Again, you can see it's moving to my countdown timer. It's moving to my main camera. It's moving to my second camera. And this is all happening from me just clicking that button. So the next thing is we now know how to go to the next scene, but how do we go back to the previous scene? Again, there's going to be a hotkey set up for that. We're also going to use the hotkey feature as well. You're going to come down and we're going to do Control Alt P. So again, Control Alt P in the keyboard, and that's going to go ahead and save it there. We'll hit save, and now you can see here that I'm on the second camera. I'll hit previous and then I'll hit next. Now one of the good things you can do here inside of the Stream Deck is that we know that this first one's next, so I can go ahead and put next scene, and then for the next one I can do previous scene. That way I know what it is that I'm pushing. So again, I can start here at the top, go to next scene, which is a countdown, main camera, and then I can push it again and go to previous scenes and go back and forth. So just like that, with a click of a button, you can go back and forth between scenes. Now let's go ahead and utilize the hotkey switch so you can see what that actually looks like. So we're going to come back to the hotkey settings. You're going to scroll down and we're going to utilize it to be able to mute and unmute your microphone here under inputs. So we're going to come back to the Stream Deck. You're going to select hotkey switch. You're going to drop it in open spot. And now here you're going to see hotkey, right? So the hotkey is Alt Shift M. So again, Alt Shift M. And where it says hotkey 2, this is where you want to input the same hotkey. So we'll do Alt Shift M, because it's going to do is going to toggle it on and off, right? So once we have that there, we'll hit save. We want to bring our attention here to this microphone. You can see that it's on. Okay, now I can go ahead and label this mic. Okay, and now you're going to see here that when I push this button, it's going to go ahead and toggle it on and off. So you can see there's my mic on, there's my mic on. off, on, just with that click of a button, making it real easy for you to be able to not have to use your hands, mean your keyboard or your mouse, to be able to toggle that on and off. So the next thing we're going to utilize a hotkey switch for is you can actually showcase the last comments that came in from your socials here in the comments tab. So for example, I just have one here, but if I want to display that, which is a simple click of a button, the last comment that came in, I can go ahead and do that. So I'm going to hit hotkey settings. I'm going to scroll down here, and I'm going to go to where it says here, banners, show last banner. All right. So you can see here now how easy it was to be able to go ahead and begin to integrate the Stream Deck with the hotkeys inside of Evmux. And I know a lot of people, we see that, we did a poll on how many of you have used the hotkey feature. 58% said no. So we definitely want to get a better understanding of, is it just because you don't have a Stream Deck? Maybe you're unaware that you can utilize your iPad or your phone to be able to handle the hotkeys, because it's a great way to simplify the way that you're transitioning between scenes, the way that you're, muting and unmuting your microphone, going live and ending your stream. It's super, super powerful to be able to utilize that feature there. But we did have some questions come in during there, and we'll start addressing them here in just a few moments. But the first question that I see is going to be from Mark. And Mark, welcome. It says, when will iPads work for guests?
Yeah, all right. So it works for guests. Mark and I had some emails, and Mark, thank you for being here and asking that. Beginning of next week, we should fix some issues we had with iPad specifically, joining the guest speaker room. So expect that beginning of next week, and I promise I'll email you back and let you know once it's done. Sorry for the delay.
Okay, perfect. And then we have here, Domino Entertainment says Evmux is primed to be number one in a thriving community of creators, and so wide a range of markets is powerful. We're building an amazing community. So many different people utilizing Evmux to do all kinds of things, not just live streaming, but recorded content, podcasts, interviews, presentations, webinars. The list can go on and on. So we're really excited to see the multi-use of Evmux and how people are taking advantage of it. So we got a question from Grandma Joe. It says, help, I purchased a TaskStar deck that has applause, laugh, and other features. Is this just sound only and not a hotkey option? So I'm not familiar with the TaskStar deck. I would have to kind of look at it, but typically those, if it has like the sound, I don't know if you can connect your microphone to it, then you can utilize it as an audio interface inside of Evmux. But I'll go ahead and take a look at it because I'm not familiar with the TaskStar deck. And then what I'll do is that I'll send you a message directly to tell you how it integrates with Evmux. You can utilize it better. But out of the gate, I haven't heard of it.
Also,
all right.
Also, regarding the effects, sound effects, stay tuned. It's coming. We're working on some surprises there for you to be able to add some nice stuff. So if you purchase it only for that, I don't know if you can return it. But it's coming soon. So I don't recommend to purchase something and any external hardware simply for effects. Again, I don't know this specific tool, but Rodecaster Pro, for example, it allows you to do so many things on top of the effect. So I definitely recommend to have that if you can afford yourselves. It's not a must though. But if it's only for sound effects, I don't think you should purchase it because it's coming soon and it's going to be integrated natively within Evmux with a click of a button.
Yes, it is, which is amazing. So again, giving away too much now, but it's going to be great. It's gonna be an amazing thing. We got sound effects. Oh my God, that's awesome. Wow. Again, it's coming through from you guys, right? The community is pushing what we develop, how we develop it, and when these features come about. So again, it's just so important to be able to have you guys here. If you haven't liked the stream yet here on YouTube, please do get it up there. Let us know that you're enjoying these town halls. But overall, we want Evmux to be something that is easy to use, but at the same time gives you the availability to be able to be creative enough with the content you're creating. So I think on Monday, we're gonna a video is coming out talking about stinger transitions and how you can incorporate stinger transitions, how they work, because it just again adds another level of professionalism to your content where it's we want it to be we want Evmux, as bad as it sounds, to be number one, but also we want people to look at your streams and not know you're using Evmux, right? Because we want it to be such a professional that somebody's like, there's no way this is a web-based tool. There's no way that you're doing all of this. And that's what we ultimately want to be able to accomplish. We had Christian Sass came in through, Rodrigo's coming in here. Welcome. But let's talk about Allah just did a town hall I think a week ago, where he talked about, just the importance of content creation and what it is that you can do with it, and the power of like live streaming and video, and where that's going in the future, and why it's so important to be able to have these kind of tools. So, we can, before we address some more questions, Yalad, why don't you talk about kind of like, again, why it's important for those to get into live streaming and to get into video content creation, and why the tools that you utilize also matter.
Yeah, of course. So I think, the people here are content creators, and that's amazing. We see every day new people coming into the industry as a whole, like people that they didn't create any content and they start to create content just now. And it's going to grow dramatically, because I think now in these days, I can segment content creation to two main verticals, if you will, or two main types. One type is people that they are doing it just for fun. They're having fun, they're creating content. It can be gamers, it can be just people doing shows on things that they care and they love. It can be about religion, it can be about sport, it can be about motorbikes. Okay, so many different things that people do it just for fun, and that's totally fine. And that's amazing to see how people invest in their hobby and talk about it, and you see the passion. So of course these people, creating content these days it's so easy that why not just go out there and speak about what you care and what you love, and you'll see, and you'll be surprised to see a lot of people out there globally that they're also interested, and they are very interested to hear what you have to say about a specific niche, a specific subject. The other type of people that we see are businesses. Okay, it can be a company with a lot of employees. It can be a one-man show business. It's totally fine. And then you're creating either a podcast, a live stream, whatever you call it, a channel that you're speaking about things related to the industry that you are working on. Let's take as an example a lawyer of real estate. Okay, so they can speak about real estate, they can speak about some issues when you close the deal and things like that. And using the platforms of content creation, you're becoming a someone that people listen to, right? Because you're on air and people listen to you, and then it makes you a better lawyer on their eyes. It doesn't mean you're really better, but it spread the word that, okay, there is a lawyer there talking about real estate. He sounds very, very professional. All right, if I have a need for a real estate lawyer, I'll go to this guy. And that's content creation. It's not specifically going live and sell myself. Okay, also look at what we're doing now here in the town halls. We are not selling Evmux. We are talking about live streaming. We are connecting it specifically to Evmux and the features in Evmux and how you can leverage Evmux, etc. But we're not selling you. We're trying to educate you. We're trying to help you grow. And hopefully you'll find Evmux as the best tool to do that. But a lot of what we're talking about, you can just take that as knowledge that you acquired and go and use other platforms. And that's totally okay. That's totally fine. I love it. The content creation industry. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's huge. It's just like you said, it allows you to connect with people on a different level. Audio alone is not enough. We saw that at the podcast movement, how many people were transitioning that have been doing audio only podcasts that are now thinking of considering doing video, right? And they're not even 100% leaned into it because video does add another level of complexity, right? And this is why the tools that you utilize are also important to kind of ease that into you, right? Where it's like, okay, cool, maybe you got to learn a little bit about a camera and your lighting and your background and your microphone. But at the same time, it's like, let's not complicate everything, right? Let's not make the gear complicated and the software you got to use and how you have to manage it. Let's find some leeway where you can find things that allow you to simplify the process. And I like what Christian said here, where he says, if you focus your efforts on making it easy to understand for people who don't use video production equipment, then you make it difficult for those who have expectations from the professional side. And that's something that me and a lot talk about a lot, where it's just like, you got to find that medium where it's easy enough to be able to get somebody new to be able to utilize it, but robust enough to where somebody who's professional coming from a tool like Vmix or OBS and utilizing those kind of tools to come in here and say, wow, like I can see myself transitioning and creating a same level or a higher level production in here without the complexity. And it's always that balance that you need to find. But again, we're constantly right now working even deeper on onboarding, right? For somebody who joins Evmux for the first time, how can we get them equipped to understand the platform and how to navigate and how to utilize every aspect of it? But how can we also bring somebody who's a professional and highlight those features that they would know and understand that matter, right? Like local recording, that's super important, right? For somebody who's maybe just starting, local recording may not be such big value to you, but somebody who does interviews and podcasts and is doing, those kind of events, local recording is a big feature for them. That's probably the most important feature that they care about. Can I use this tool to be able to record, but at the same time on the back end, get the highest quality of video and audio, so that way I can do my promotion elsewhere on other platforms. So it's definitely been a huge point there.
It's all about the balance.
Right.
It's all about the balance, and
Correct.
it's even in our tagline that we say Evmux is the live streaming sweet spot and everything. We always talk about that. You have those very easy to use web-based tools. You have those softwares that are very complicated, and we have Kirk, the amazing Kirk, saying all the time tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. And I had a discussion with him, and maybe it's worth mentioning that today at 7 p.m. Our episode together is going to be released on his channel. And we talked about that specifically, and I'll give you a teaser that I'm going to say to Kirk, and he is agreeing with me. There is the Evmux tier Evmux, because Evmux is the only tool that allows you to be very easy to use if you want to, but it can be very robust if you want to as well. If you want to evolve with the features you can find only in Evmux as a web-based tool. And we say that again and again and again. Web-based is the basics. We don't want it to be on your computer. We don't want the live stream to relay on your computer. We don't want the stream on YouTube to end because your internet is down. It's fine that your internet is not good and you need to reset the internet and to be back in 2, 3, 5 minutes, but the stream is still there and you can text your people in the chat, I'm coming back, don't worry. Because otherwise you need to provide, to create another stream, and you lose more than 80% of your viewers, and that's a disaster for you. Web-based, it's starting there and then adding more and more and more features, but finding the balance. It's always about the balance. Super challenging, and we are asking you all the time to give us feedback. If you see something in the system that it's not very intuitive for you, let us know. Let us know. It means we did something not in the best way, and we would improve that. And along the way, we've heard so many things about that, and we improved that all the time, and we're far than perfect. Help us. Let us know where you think that it's not very intuitive, and it will help us to grow.
Right. Yeah. And if anybody inside the Facebook group, we'll drop that interview once it releases inside of the Facebook group. That way everybody can go ahead and check it out. Show love to Alad and Kurt for taking the time to make that content. So we'll put that in the Facebook group as well. We had a question here from Studio 1209 group that said, Alad mentioned using something out here to make alpha channel transitions. Any thoughts?
Yeah, all right. So I think we're talking about the stingers, correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
All right. So stingers is a feature that we released, I think, 3 weeks ago, maybe
3 weeks ago,
something in that range. No video on that specifically. There is a town hall that Anthony and I discussed about the stingers when we announced it. So you can look for in our YouTube, the town hall, we call it new features or something like that in the title.
I'll link it in the Facebook group as well. But also the stinger transition video will come out on Monday. So you'll have it there as well.
But just to recap on that, pretty easily where you are clicking on the pro scene, you have the 3 dots to see more options. You'll see the stingers there. We have some stingers available in the system as templates that you can use. And you can upload any WebM file that you created. And yeah, that's a very, very powerful feature, I think, because it just upgrade the level of your content immediately with just uploading one video. Like everything looks much more professional immediately with one click of a button from your end, and we're using it all the time, and it makes everything look like, oh, something is happening. You know, I like it a lot, and I recommend all of you to at least give it a try.
Yeah. And you can, and the good thing about it that I like is that you can make a stinger transition for every different scene, right?
Yeah.
Whereas like if in OBS, you got to make a stinger transition, it's for every scene, right? It's for the whole scene in there. Whereas like if you have 9 scenes inside of Evmux, you can have 9 different stinger transitions if you want to. And I think that level of customization is also something that is amazing to be able to have. So we had a question here from, I just missed it, from Rodrigo Martinez. Says, can I put a video in loop in dynamic mode?
Great question. And the answer is no, you can't. In the dynamic, again, bringing us back to the discussion of the balance of ease of use and the robustness. The dynamic, the idea of the dynamic scene, that it will be the easiest way to go live, create content, and to prevent from people to do mistakes. Okay, think about it. People that they are beginners, we as a system, we have to make sure that we prevent them from doing mistakes as much as we can. Okay, prevent user errors. All right, because I've heard I think it was the CEO of Google in Israel, and he said that Chrome doesn't work. Something doesn't work, not in Chrome, sorry, in a website or something, and people blame Google Chrome. Okay, so same thing here. If it doesn't work for someone in the dynamic scene, even if that's a user error, we're trying to do the research and understand, okay, what could we do to prevent that error from the user? And one thing specifically about what you just asked about the looping video, this is exactly where people can do mistakes when they use dynamic and they are not professionals at all. We would like the video will be played, and then boom, when the video ends, it's back to the live, because 90% of the people, this is what they want to do. So if this is 90%, this is what we let them do in the dynamic, and that's only because if in the dynamic we will let them to try to loop as well, they can by mistake do the loop and then, hey, why it looped for me? What happened? Right? But that's where the process come into action. In process, you can do whatever you want. We treat you as a professional, basically. Okay, and then you can go to the video. By default, it won't loop, but then pretty quickly you can click on the video, go to settings, and tell the system that you want this video to loop. And then it will just loop. You can also have the auto switch. Remember, that's another very, very powerful thing. You can set it up to auto switch to another scene, any scene. It can be even back to the dynamic scene, up to you. I really recommend, if you are into the process, and I recommend all of you to be into the process and to try and to learn and to do the research. It's so powerful. You will never go back to dynamic. But we have dynamic for people that, you know, they're just beginners and they would like very easy. I don't want to ask questions. I don't want learning curve. I don't want to invest any time. I just want to go live and boom, let the system do the rest. So dynamic scene, it is for them.
Yeah, and we have a video in production right now that's going to go a little bit deeper into the difference between dynamic and pro scenes. I know it's always a question that's always asked. When should I use dynamic? When should I use pro scenes? What's the difference? What's better? So that video is going to be available here shortly as well. We had a Christian said here, that's why I've committed to being here for you guys for a year. Look what you guys have done in 6 months. I have tons of pointers for you guys when how to fix onboarding. 100% share that. It looks like a lot. Looking forward to sharing those notes. 100% share it again, because at the end of the day, this is all what it's about, right? It's like we're on the other end of it, right? So it's like when we're so close to it, sometimes when somebody's coming in new, and we've also keeping our ears to hear what's the struggles when somebody's first getting in. Even if you have some kind of knowledge with using a tool, there's still certain things that maybe are not clear inside of the platform, and we're also making those adjustments as well. But any feedback you have, definitely please go ahead and share that.
I just want to
Yep.
mention Christian, that he's great. He was connected with me in Facebook, and he shared so
Nice.
many different examples and
Mhm.
ideas on Evmux. And to
Mhm.
be honest, I didn't have the time to dive into it totally. Christian, I promise that I will. And thank you so much. Another great example
Mhm.
for someone so active, proactive in
Yeah.
our community, that is really helping us grow. So anyone that would like to do the same and help us and give us feedback, super
Mhm.
valuable. Connect to us, Anthony or I, or
Yeah.
myself directly. And I promise you to that the door is always open. It helps us.
Right.
So thank you.
Right. Yeah, I love that. Studio says here, funny, I invited a guest the other day and he got so upset that Safari didn't work well and sounded like a whiny little baby. I just said, please grow up. It's just another browser. He said, so let's see here. What do we got? Okay, so we got Christian said, I was having a lot of issues with scenes spoiling up video and playing in a timely manner. Does anyone else have this issue?
I think I know
Um,
what you mean. You mean that
okay.
if I understand correctly, that you played a video and then it lagged a little bit on your end, but it didn't lag on YouTube or something else.
Okay.
It's totally expected sometimes, because when you play the video in the studio, it plays.
Mhm.
It is kind of relying on your internet because it's on your
Right.
end. All right. For others, for the people watching you on YouTube, it doesn't matter. Your internet doesn't matter. So if
Mhm.
your internet is a bit slow, it doesn't mean it's slow, but the internet consume your video, it consume this, it
Right.
consume that. Maybe you have also YouTube open as a monitor. So many things
Mhm.
happening on the same internet connection. So it might be that the video is a bit delayed. I think that the best solution here is to make sure that you set up the auto switch.
Mhm.
Because if you have the auto switch, you're not relying on yourself making sure that the scene was done or something like that. So do the auto switch, and then it will just switch to the next scene as in the second that the video
Yep.
ends in the server, and not relying on your computer. I think that's the best
Mhm.
solution here.
Perfect. That was a great response. Domino Entertainment says, is Evmux interested in virtual hybrid events and esports, looking to include the platform as our creation engine?
Yeah, I think that Evmux, I would love to know specifically what you're talking about, but generally speaking, Evmux is totally designed for virtual and hybrid events, 100%. This
Mhm.
is where we are coming from. We're 10 years in the event industry. We mentioned that again and again.
Yep.
With the ability to create sessions within a project, with the ability to create speakers, assign them to different sessions, push to talk, backstage, all those
Mhm.
features are very, very towards the
Right.
virtual events, hybrid events vertical and industry. Specifically about esports, I don't know exactly what do you mean, but for
Yeah.
us, I don't see why not, again, in general, but I would love to
Mhm.
learn more. Also, it's important to
Yeah.
mention churches. I think that churches, their service on Sunday, it's really similar to a hybrid event. Really, really similar. You have a stage. Sometimes you have people from remote. You have a run of show. It's very similar to a virtual or hybrid event, more a hybrid event because it's an in-person and virtual component. And yeah, we have a lot of churches using Evmux, so definitely Evmux is a great tool for this thing.
I agree. Yeah, and it's like I said, an esports event is just a physical event, right? That's also live streamed as well. So again, we fit in perfectly with that. Grandma Joe says the auto switch feature works so well after my countdown went to the host only scene, or one time I needed it to go to the disclaimer scene first. Excellent feature. 100%. And that's the beauty of the auto, like that. The auto switch with the hotkeys is like the easiest way to get things done. Darius, who does remote for churches, utilizes both. Not only does he use the auto switch feature, but he also uses the Stream Deck and also his cell phone and his iPad to be able to maneuver everything with a click of a button. So again, it's extremely powerful to be able to utilize that in there. And
The
Ron
auto
just said,
switch,
"Yep,
the
hmm
auto switch is maybe the feature I like the most, because
hmm
it's so simple. It's a simple thing that we never saw in
yeah,
any other tool. Like you
hmm
can do that in other tools like Vmix, OBS, etc., but it's very hard to make it happen, like to
hmm
to configure that. And in Evmux we cracked it. I think that with one click of a button you make
right,
it happen, and then it makes the producer's life so much easier because it was a headache to make sure that you are on the second, you know, exactly when the video ends, you do the transition. It's hard. We are humans, you know, we cannot be like crazy on it. And sometimes there is a delay on the producer end, and who knows. Auto switch. Use auto switch all the time, from countdowns to the main scene, from video to another scene. It will make your life so much easier. So easy to configure that. It's an amazing feature. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And Studio said here, wanted to know what program do you use to make templates inside? Templates like graphics, you know, you can utilize Canva if it's the easiest way to make graphics, or Photoshop if you have a little bit more experience in there to be able to create something that's a little bit more professional. But Canva is always the easiest to be, because they have a lot of templates even to begin with. But it's a great tool to be if you're talking about graphics in themselves. Question here from Grandma Joe says, anyone in chat have recommendations for Stream Deck? I am seeing Elgato Stream Deck MK2 for about $149, or the Elgato Mini for approximately $79. Thanks. If you had to pick between the two, the difference is only going to be the amount of buttons that you see right? So one has 6 buttons, one has 15 buttons. But you're not limited to just having 6 buttons. You can create folders that give you 6 more buttons, and another folder that gives you 6 more buttons, right? So it's just about how many buttons you want to have displayed at one time. So if you want 15 buttons displayed, then get the 149. If you're good with 6 buttons and having folders, then get the 79. And if you're for Evmux, there's not a lot of hotkeys that you predominantly need to utilize, to where like you can get the smaller one for 79 and then get one on your phone to give you some additional ones if you want. But it's going to be more personal preference what you're looking for. We had another question here from Michael. Michael said, I was able to use hotkeys in the Stream Deck to switch to a second camera. Is there a feature for having multiple cameras in the same scene? You want to answer that?
Yeah. So first of all, you can have multiple cameras in the same scene. You'll have to add the other camera as a guest basically to the show, and then you can have as many guests as you want in one scene. That's the easy way to make it happen today. With that said, we are working on a multi-camera native kind of feature in Evmux that as the producer, you will be able to just have multiple cameras and you don't have to create guests. It's working, but we understand that it's not the easiest way to make it happen. And we just said before, we are trying always to find the easiest, most intuitive way for every feature. And definitely multi-camera, it requires a dedicated feature for that. And it's coming soon.
Yeah, 100%. Autry says, can't wait for sound effects. I know. And then, so says, Michael says again, could you possibly make a video specifically on what a speaker will see on their end? Being always on the admin side, it would be good to explore what they see. So we do have a video now available on the channel where it's talking about how to invite a guest and speaker. In there, I show you how to invite a guest, how to invite a speaker, and I also show you what that speaker and guest are going to see on their end once they join your session. And we made that video specifically for that. So that way producers are able to not only navigate the guest and the speaker experience by telling them, hey, this is where you find things, this is where you do. But also if you're ever going to be a guest or a speaker inside of Evmux, you know what to expect. So that video is on the channel now. Just look for invite speakers or guests. I think it's like maybe 10 or 12 videos back in our log.
Yeah, and also worth mentioning, we have Samuel and Kirk and Justin, also the 3 of those that created great videos on Evmux. Right. So Samuel and Kirk created specific videos on the guest journey in Evmux. So I really recommend you also to try that. And also the tutorial, the complete tutorial Justin just released 2 or 3 days ago. Yeah. Also includes kind of something about the guests. I don't remember exactly how deep he's going there, but I'm sure that there is, again, the video that Anthony created with Evmux, Kirk, Samuel, and Justin. You will find your answers there, and if not, we are always here. So connect us directly.
100%. Grandma Joe says, question: can someone tell me what a stinger is? This is great. So a stinger is going to be a kind of like a video or an effect that occurs when you're switching from scene to scene. So A good way to demo that, I don't know if a lot of you want to switch to a scene and then come back to the main talking to be able to showcase the stinger that actually occurs, so that we can see. It's just
Let me see.
simply
I don't remember if I did a stinger here. Let's try to put you on the stage by
okay. Yeah,
yourself.
sure. All right, let's see here. Do we see an effect? Did it happen? I don't think that one had a stinger. But once you go back to the main talking, it should definitely generate a stinger transition there for us. So again, Grandma Joe, is it not
Let me
showing?
try. Maybe I'll share
Yeah,
my
set it up.
screen. I have a
Yeah, no
screen
worries.
share, I think. Just a
So
second. I'll
pretty much
try.
in a yeah, no worries. And pretty much in a nutshell, Grandma Joe, it's just an effect, a graphic, or a video that comes up when you're switching between scenes, just to add a little bit of a touch. Sometimes it can be your logo animated, or other elements as well. Yeah, there you go. There you go. So you just saw that blue line that just crossed over. That is going to be the stinger transition, right? It's just an effect that occurs when you're switching between scene to scene. So I hope that gives some clarification. And the video for stinger transitions comes out next week, and hopefully that will give you more insight on exactly what it is. Um,
Do
uh,
you? Yeah,
I
my
saw it.
computer's stuck for a second.
Oh, okay, no
But you
worries.
see
Well,
that the
luckily,
stream, no, the stream continues, and now I'm back, and
yeah,
boom,
it's still there.
you
Hey,
see
we're
also
there.
the
There's the
transition.
stinger. There you go. Love it. Love it. Yeah. So a transition, right? Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Um, so to say here, Domino Entertainment says tournaments and battles, Evmux used for presentations, communication, and streaming. I'm in your inboxes. Looking forward to further talks. All right, perfect. And then let's see here. Studio says, actually, I was referring back to making the alpha channel transitions, but I'm good with your answers. Adobe After Effects is a great way to be able to utilize them in combination with Premiere Pro. To be able to make an Affinity photo is much more affordable option other than Photoshop, and it's a one-time buy. 100% agree. I just have me personally, I have the Adobe Creative Cloud. I use a lot of their tools, so that's kind of why I use those features there. Michael says, awesome. Thanks for the answers. I will check out the videos. Perfect. And thanks for being so connected to the community, man. That's what we're here for. Without you guys, we know this wouldn't be possible. So we're super excited about it. And a moment of silence. Queen Elizabeth has just passed away.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Wow!
Wow. Wow.
Wow!
That's going to impact a lot of things. So that's
She's
intense.
she is 96.
She was
Wow!
96. So she
She
passed
was
now.
96.
96.
Wow!
Whoa. That's crazy.
That's sad.
That is insane.
That's
Yeah.
this queen. She was like there forever.
Right.
Having
Right.
her passed away, it's like it's something. It's wow.
Right. Which is in wow. This probably all over the news right now.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
It means
she was
we
holding a
need
lot
to
of things
cut off.
together. We need to cut off, right? We need to go ahead and cut off. But even with that, that's definitely may she rest in power, and hopefully everything goes and continues what it was. It says, can recordings be downloaded
Maybe we can say congrats to the new king. No, Charles,
to the new king. Oh, Charles, that's right.
her son.
It's gonna be different.
Finally for him. I think he is almost
Yeah.
he's 80 or something, man. Wow.
Yeah. So but that's crazy. At 96, so that's a long life. So that's definitely yep, he's 73. Yeah, so he's 73. Tejano time, welcome.
Welcome.
But we had a question from Mark, and then this will probably be the question that we'll wrap up on. So it says, can recordings be downloaded as MP4s instead of MKVs?
Actually, the first time someone asking us. So Mark, please let us know why MKV is just being supported by more codecs. That's the reason that it's MKV. But there are tools all over the place to convert from MKV to MP4. Let us know the need for it, and if it makes sense, we might add this option. Yeah, definitely.
Right. Yeah. There's always 100% converters you can utilize as well. So it says, Shona says, the UK will mourn for the next 10 days. Wow.
Ooh.
Wow. Imagine Studio says, hello from West Texas. MKV only for local recording. Okay, so it's only for the local recording. The actual full production of the live stream or recording will be an MP4.
Yeah.
And it says, hey, Sean and Susan Downs. Yes, they do have a lot of grieving time. Yeah, it's intense. Oh, Studio 1209 is Susan. Oh, I didn't know it was Susan. I didn't know that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's new account. Okay, you're a familiar face here. Okay, so I now I know that Studio 1209 is your other account. And it says here, Imagine Studio says, is there a plan to future stream recorded media? Like to future stream recorded media?
Yeah. So okay, I think I understand the question.
About schedule lives. Yep.
Yeah. So for now, you can do that, of course, because we allow you to upload videos to your studio up to 2 gigabytes per video. It means theoretically you can upload 5 different videos, each video in a different scene, and then do auto switch between them, and then even have 10 gigabytes of video in one show and go live whenever you would like. Okay. The only thing is that you'll have to go live manually. It means whenever you can schedule your stream, of course, in the social media, but when the time has come, you need to go into the studio and click the go live button. There is a demand, not huge, I think, but there is a demand to schedule live streams with videos only that will go live automatically whenever you schedule the live. For me, I'm thinking about that, and I'm this kind of person that anyways I will go into the system to make sure that it happens. So I'm not saying that we're not going to add it, but to be honest, it's not in our top priority right now, because there is a very good workaround for that, of just creating it, schedule it, upload the video up to 2 gigabytes per video. It's huge. I think we're the only web-based tool allowing that. Creating the auto switches and then go live. So it is possible. It's just not going live automatically. We will add it at one point, but it's not coming up very soon.
Yeah, perfect. And then Mark says, my video editor Vegas Pro doesn't natively support MKV. It just adds an extra step in the post. Yeah. So we'll definitely be looking at making those adjustments. Tiano Time says, can you do the chat pop-up without lower thirds and keep the same styling? Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, of course. Just turn 100%. Off the lower thirds. It doesn't have the styling when you create your branding and you choose colors, etc. So yes, everything in the kind of the same theme. But other than that, you can turn off lower thirds, toggle it off under your branding, and have banners and comments up. It doesn't matter, of course.
Yeah, you can definitely toggle it off, and you can also always put a timer on the lower thirds as well if you don't want them to always show. We always have them for always show, but you can always adjust the timing if you want to. Maybe have them rotating. But that also helps as well there. So okay, perfect. So this was a pretty great town hall. If you haven't hit the like button yet, make sure you hit the like button. It always helps. A lot of people not using the hotkey feature yet. So we got 69% not utilizing the hotkey feature. Definitely excited to hear on the reason why. Because it is something that allows you to be able to create faster. So please share that with us inside of the group, maybe the things that we need to adjust, or videos we need to create to educate you more on utilizing it. So that way we get more use out of it as well. So with that being said, if we didn't get to answer your question, or a question comes up after the town hall, the Facebook group is always going to be the best place to be able to join in there. I think we're almost at 500 members, which is insane. And it's just growing daily. I think every other day a lot is doing a post welcoming new guests. So it's growing pretty fast. Okay, we'll take this last question right here from Tiano Time.
Just a second, Grandma Joe asked about the timer in the lower third. So just to just to make sure we're all on the same page. It's not a timer. It means that when you go to customization, you can customize the settings. Like if you go to advanced settings and do costume configurations, you can set the lower thirds to show at after specific time, and then hide after a specific time, and repeat after a specific time. So that way you can play around with it. So this is what Anthony meant before.
Yeah. And there's a video on the channel now but I'm gonna make a new one because we've updated the experience of the lower thirds. So I'll make an updated one in there as well to be able to showcase that. But Tiano Time says, what feature are you really looking forward to that you don't have now? And I guess it'll be one that a lot teased early in the town hall that you maybe were not around, but sound effects are coming natively in the platform. So that's pretty exciting. Aside from all the other ones we've mentioned that are coming, but Alaa, do you have another feature, or is that the one that you're most excited about right now?
This is like the coming up the soonest, but we are very excited about the multi-camera that is coming up soon as well.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's just, you know, teasers here and there. We also, you can go into the studio and see that we have new lower thirds also on top of what we've had in the past. We're improving all the time, so our developers work tirelessly. Man, working hard here, 100%. Working hard.
Yeah, 100%. And like I said, so it's been great. It's always great to be able to go ahead and spend time with you guys. Joseph just tuned in. Can you use multiple camera on this app? Not yet. It's going to be coming out. You can.
You can.
You can. That's the question. Yeah, you know, you can. Let's not say no. There's definitely workarounds to be able to do that. But feel free to jump into our Facebook group, ask the question in there, and then we can provide you some support. But there's ways for you to be able to add multicams, and then native multi-cameras are coming to the software pretty soon. So with that being said, guys, it's been an amazing town hall today. Really loved seeing so familiar faces, new faces, and just all the excitement for what Evmux is doing. And again, remember, inside the Facebook group is the easiest way to find us. We'll be dropping here an interview that Alaa did with Kurt. I think it's going to add a lot of value and a lot of more information to teach you about the different way people think when it comes to Evmux or creating content. And again, it's also another way to be able to connect with us directly, answer questions, and be involved in the community and the development of Evmux. So with that being said, Alaa, what do we always say?
We'll see you in the next one.
Hey, perfect.
Yalla bye.
Bye. Yalla bye. All right, I'm live. That was easy.